Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Sigvalgrim here, and welcome back to another video. So we're going to open up with a fight against Silver Banshee here. We have Manta, and we have Silver Green Lantern and Classic Wonder Woman. So over here she's combo intractable, but I'm going to use Silver Green Lantern anyway, because I'm sure that I'll have enough damage to one-shot this fight with Manta, but at the same time the mistakes in this fight are going to be very costly, not because Manta is gonna take some damage, because he can definitely take some damage, but because he's going to maybe get tagged out if he uses the special 2, and if he gets tagged out, that's going to be very disastrous for us, because we'll have a big time frame in which we can't deal damage with him, and at the same time there's also going to be a loss of passive, which I'm not a big fan of. After Green Lantern tanking that super move, Manta could have tanked it, but would have lost the Green Lantern shield, so that kind of defeats the purpose of using it. For passive stats, we have a level 3 Norris Globe and a level 1 Norris Globe equipped on the other two characters, and Manta is gonna have Ejochrist Batarang at level 4 to pretty much allow him to get 4 fast attack hits and the additional damage, while Silver Banshee is under the debuff that it is able to inflict. Combo interrupt again. I'm using special 2. I don't know if that's actually efficient in terms of reducing defense, because I don't know if Silver Banshee's got defense as a boss, but I know for a fact that she's got very high defense as a base character without you putting any on it, so I thought I might as well do that. And with this artifact anyways, I kind of find myself using the special 2 to apply the debuff, because there's simply not enough energy to go around for the special 3, so I think that's slightly more optimal. Combo interrupt again. And yeah, we've previously used Manta with Sword of Salvation, and while that is more convenient, let's say, because we're able to spam the special 3 and stun lock the enemy, the Ejochrist Batarang is even at half the level of the Sword of Salvation. Sorry if I said Sword of Sin previously. It's gonna be far more efficient. Okay, so here I actually defeated boss EPI after this fight, but for whatever reason I actually forgot to record it, and while the fight was finishing I realized I'm not recording this, my dudes. And those are the rewards, actually. I got the thermal gloves, which are actually a terrible artifact. They look promising, and they're gonna have some use at level 10, but if you have it anywhere lower than level 10, it's gonna be absolutely garbage. But nevertheless, let's get into a fight where we test that out, and I'll talk a little bit more about how bad those artifacts are, and why at the end of the video. So here we're going to have League of Anarchy. I have Dark Metal cards on Arkham Knight Batman. I have the level 1 thermal gloves on Harley. We inflicted the burning effect on Taggin. It's gonna be something around the 55% chance to inflict burning effect on the enemy as we Taggin. And we're gonna have the level 3 Norris Globe on EPI to allow us to get some passive stats. Okay, so basically how do the thermal gloves work, because I'm not gonna assume you guys know how it works, because it's a pay-to-win artifact that you're very unlikely to drop, and most of you most likely didn't care how it works. So you're going to have a chance to stun the enemy on Taggin. Not to stun, to inflict burning, excuse me. You're gonna have a chance to inflict burning on the enemy on Taggin. If you manage to inflict that burning, then you're going to get a stacking attack buff that's only going to apply to basic attack hits against burn targets. So we have Green Arrow here, and we burned him on Taggin, and now we're going to stack some buff on Harley as we hit him. That stack is going to stack fast, and the stacks are not going to deplete, so in that regard it's good stuff. And while at max stacks I'm going to get pretty much 120% more attack. Keep in mind it's base attack, it's not damage, so it kind of sucks, but it's gonna be 120% at level 1 more attack against the target while it's burning. Also considering the fact that it's going to be a chance-based thing. So here I do have the buff, but it's not working because the target is not burning. Harley back in there. Finally we burned him yet again. We're going to stack the buff yet again, and it's gonna be at 50 stacks. It's maxed out at this point, so we're getting peak performance every single time we burn him. And we did burn him yet again, so we're going to get the benefit of that buff. Arkham Knight done back in. Special 2 in there. Harley back in there. And we did not burn him, so the artifact is totally pointless in that certain Taggin, and if he had some defense to deny our damage, that would have been fully active, because we didn't burn. Yet again, not burning on that Taggin. That kinda sucks. Yet again, not inflicting any burning effect on that Taggin, my dudes. We're not getting any benefit out of this artifact at this point, except for the passive stats of it. Like, if I switch the Dark Metal cards from Arkham Knight Batman to Harley and that artifact on Arkham Knight Batman, we would have gotten far more damage in theory. But yet again, this is done for testing purposes, and I was pretty sure we were gonna one-shot here anyway, so that's why I took the liberty to use it. But yeah, it overall sucks, but yet again, I'm going to go more in-depth and analyze the artifact and talk about why it sucks and why this is a terrible way to design artifacts. But for now, yeah, that's about it, and it's some damage indeed, but that's mainly League of Anarchy. So for this dude, you actually want to use, it's going to be a far better experience, and it's going to be an experience relatable to everybody. You want to use the Heartbreak Harley Quinn League of Anarchy with Predator Batman or Arkham Knight Batman, whatever you got against this dude, and put Dark Metal cards on Harley, and put Kryptonite Spear that you get for free from Rise of Krypton after completing the normal tier. Pretty much the free artifact from Rise of Krypton. You're going to want to put that on your Arkham Knight Batman or Predator Batman. So the way to you do this is you pretty much stack with Harley some basic attack hits, and while the counter of basic attack hits is above a certain point, you're going to pretty much get a guaranteed unblockable on Predator Batman on tagging. And that's a far more efficient way to do this than with Sword of Sin, Beta Club, Kinflint, Zakoman. But I just realized that my stupid ass wanted to test the thermal gloves and forgot that he kind of needs to use League of Anarchy here. So I'm gonna end up using King Beta Club. We're still not gonna get any crits, but it's going to be just powering through raw values of dot damage. That's gonna be the name of the game here. And it's efficient, but yet again, it's gonna actually be far more efficient and far more accessible for you to use Dark Metal cards on Harley to get past that crit resistance and use the Kryptonite Spear to get past that shield if you guys are wondering how to handle this yourselves. But I'm going to use King Raven here. Jump attack, special 2. And boy, dot values are crazy low without having access to that crit chance. And I could have used Dark Metal cards on King, and I think that would have actually been enough. But I wanted to go the safe route. I think this is the safe route I could take, considering my League of Anarchy was not available, and yeah, that's about it for that fight specifically. Now for the next one. I'm going to use Mr. Freeze because I used Manta previously, and I used Raven here, and I was like, what am I gonna do with Brainiac? Let's use Mr. Freeze. And I've kind of forgotten I got Mr. Freeze with Gears for a while, because first we got the On Isol raids on release where the artifact bonuses didn't stack, and Mr. Freeze with Beta Club kind of sucked ass. And then we got the Dawn of Apocalypse Soul raids, where yet again the artifact bonuses did not split, and yet again 3-star Mr. Freeze with very low base attack sucks with Beta Club. But now that the artifact bonuses split, I'm actually going to have quite a good performance here. And if you do have Beta Club, he's going to actually be far better than Black Manta because he can make such a better use of the Beta Club dot damage. Okay, so he's frozen there. Jump attack is gonna be so far 1.1 mil dot value. We're gonna have the hazard active every single time we tag Brainiac in, because the time frame in which he breaks the freeze towards the point where he finishes the animation, it's actually going to be enough for the target to freeze again. So that's going to be a very reliable way to lock this dude into an infinite combo, basically. Brainiac in their special 1, it's frozen again. Jump attack, we're at 2.7 dot damage, special 2. And I'm not even sure I did run the full course of lethal stacks with Brainiac before this dude died, so I suspect that max stacks, even at 3 stars, it might actually, I don't think it's better than the Batman Ninja team, because my Batman Ninja team was getting values, or nah, it's gonna be, it's already 3.5, yeah, it's gonna be better than the Batman Ninja team if you do have Beta Club and Black Manta, and Kinflint Zakoman actually. Like, unless you put Raven, Kinflint Zakoman, like, he makes a very good use of Beta Club currently. Hopefully he doesn't get nerfed in the future in terms of this interaction. Because yet again, something that I fear they will do, they will make the freeze stacks, the amount of hits you can do before the freeze breaks, be triggered by the Beta Club dot, and that would be a huge nerf. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, we're going to let him die here because I did some pretty decent dot values, and I'm afraid I'm gonna get unusual gameplay, so better safe than sorry. He's dead, and Red Hood is going to actually kill Red Hood. There we go. And now for the last fight of the video, before I get into that, I'm going to actually use Batman Collapse with Sword of Salvation to actually build combo for Sir Banshee, because this was my last team and I had the choice between Deathstroke and this, And honestly, I think Deathstroke would have done better, but I want to try this as well. So the way you play Deathstroke with this team is that you go with Deathstroke, but not sort of Salvation necessarily, pretty much any artifact or even the Dark Metal cards to allow you to have guaranteed crits for Silver Banshee, because he's able to power generate, or you have Fatal Collapse with the power generation artifact here, but without the power generation artifact he's not really worth using like this in this team, because he's far less efficient than Reverse Flash. Another way to do it if you have it is to use Deathstroke with Jokerized Batarangs. In that way you're going to give Deathstroke 4 fast attack hits, and you kind of get the best of both worlds, because he's gonna be able to build power with his passive and also build a high combo for you. But I just wanted to see how it goes. With Fatal Collapse, he's gonna be an okay combo builder because he has fast attack chance in his build, but he's gonna have only 2 fast attack hits, so it's far less optimal than most things that we could have actually used here. Throw Banshee back in there, gonna back off a bit, special 1, Fatal Collapse back in there, re-engage the combo, throw Banshee in there, special 3, we have All Blades, so it's gonna be a little bit risky for Throw Banshee to die. I mean, not really, because if we back off into a special 1, there's no way for us to die. Special 3 in there yet again, back off a bit, special 1. Well, like, another terrible thing about the Thermal Gloves is that you can't use it on stuff like Silver Banshee. Like, I know that a lot of characters do rely on, like, damage on basic attack hits, but they also do damage with specials, most of them, except for Just League and Manta. They also rely on special hits. They are kind of mixed, like Catwoman and Camouflage Sakumin also care about their special damage. And Silver Banshee and Multiverse team are going to rely only on special damage, so on them Thermal Gloves are going to be totally useless. And they're going to be totally useless even if you put them on their combo builders, because they both have ways to kind of bypass any defense that they might have, and you want to get over through reducing the defense. Like, the only place where I feel like you can use the Thermal Gloves, realistically speaking, is only in the on-ice Soul Raids, and only if you got like 3 Soul Raid artifacts at max level, I guess. So even then you might get a little bit of a better outcome for most teams out of just straight up using Noral's Globe on it. So it sucks, but more on that later. And this fight was sadly not strong enough to kill this dude in a one-shot. And I think I played it well enough. Could have done it a little bit better, I think, but I don't think it would have been enough to change the fate of this. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll just have to use one more pip to clean this one out. But yeah, overall it went well enough. Now let's get into the review of the Thermal Gloves, actually. Okay, so to end things off, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Thermal Gloves and why I think they are actually a terrible artifact. They have one redeeming factor, but that factor will not exist for 99% of the people. First of all, let's talk about the damage part. I'm going to get 2.4% attack, up to 50 stacks. Those stack fast, and after they stack, they stay stacked. So the stacking part of it is not going to be too much of a burden. So I'm going to get this much attack only applied for basic attack hits and swipes. Let's a little bit get away from the basic attack hits. Let's not even keep that in mind, and let's straight up compare it to All Blades, because All Blades is gonna be an artifact that will apply the attack buff for everything, not only basic attack hits. And yeah, at level 1 the Thermal Gloves are going to actually give me less attack than 1 stack of All Blades is going to give me, regardless of the fact that the attack on All Blades also applies on specials, not only basic attack hits. Regardless of that, it's still going to be at level 1 worse than 1 stack of All Blades. But you might be like, oh, that's just level 1, Sigvald, how about level 10 of it? Okay, so at level 10, it's going to give me a total of 300% attack. How much is 300% attack related to All Blades, which is a free artifact that everybody's gonna get, and everybody's gonna have a far easier time maxing out? That's 2 stack of All Blades. And usually you run on 3 stack of All Blades with most of your teams. So it's still worse than All Blades at level 10. And that is disregarding the fact that that artifact only benefits you on basic attack hits and not on specials too. If we put that factor into consideration, boy, it's really not looking good. And on top of everything else, this buff only applies while the target is burning. only while the target is burning. And at low level, at max level, we're going to have a 100% chance to apply burning on the opponent, so that's gonna definitely be a thing. But on lower level, you're going to have a 55% chance to apply burning for 6 seconds. So that kind of sucks, indeed extra sucks, because not only you're going to get huge windows of time where your attack buff will straight up not work for this artifact. It's basically half of them at level 1, it's gonna get a little bit better as you get it at higher level, but on top of everything else, if you wanna actively make use of the burning effect properly, you need it at level 10, because the burning effect, if there's a fight where you need it, you need to stack it multiple times, because the burning effect is going to reduce half of the current defense of the opponents. So if it's already reduced once, it's going to reduce, as long as you don't let the first stack of burning expire, half of the current amount. So you want to keep stacking it, you don't want to let it expire, that's how burning works. And if this fails once, you're going to pretty much pick up the pace, and if this fails for that tagging, you're not only going to not have the attack buff, but you're not going to be able to also bypass the defense of the opponent. And look, this artifact might have some uses, and definitely has some uses at level 10. You can put this on a combo builder as an alternative to Sword of Sin, let's say, to apply burning on the opponent with your combo builder. Because while Sword of Sin is very effective and can be used from a very low level at pretty much peak efficiency, this is going to require you to use a special to apply this. And teams like Sir Banshee, though that's not the best example because Sir Banshee doesn't need to reduce the defense because she does armor pierce, but some combo builders, let's say, like Reverse Slash, are not gonna have a good time or a good scenario to use a special to apply this. So it will be great to have this at level 10 to straight up apply the burning effects when you tag in with your combo builder, but that's going to be only efficient at level 10, and this is terrible artifact design. Like, if this artifact would have been so much better for that purpose alone if they would have added a 100% chance to inflict burning on tagging, but make the seconds that the opponent is going to burn. I'm pretty sure those also increase, if I'm not wrong. Hold on a second. Yep, the second scale with the level. Like, look at the difference. Here, the chance to burn and the second scale with the level. But if we have a look at this one, you're only going to get a scale in the seconds that the burning is going to apply, and also scaling on the secondary effect, but that doesn't matter because the other artifact also gets a scaling on the secondary effects. So why? Why did you go back to also scaling the chance for the artifact to actually work? We've already gone over this, that this is a terrible artifact design, and we haven't seen that in a while, but here it is back at it. So you want to deal damage, this is a terrible artifact. You want to reduce defense, this is a terrible artifact unless you have it at level 10. So yeah, it sucks, even if you get this upgrade Nora's Globe. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.
This is the future.